Hello, everyone, and welcome to your second Snap take of the day. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments, and we're going to talk about what used to be called a Spotlight card, but for the first time ever, a card that can only be achieved through a Snap Pack or token buy. It is Surge, who is a 2/2 on reveal. Give the top card of your deck -1 cost and +1 power. After you play it, repeat this ability. So, this is the type of card that Marvel Snap players, including myself, have been prone to overrate in the past. Whether it be cards like Fastos or other similar abilities, we all go kind of nuts for anything that lets us cheat in cost. That is sometimes incredible and sometimes kind of junky, depending on how it is. 2/2 is a low stat line, but it is played early enough that it could work. Esme is also a card that has some complicated interactions that let's go over very quickly before we get to the four great decks we're going to talk about with her. First of all, the -1 cost and +1 power are permanent, so if you bounce a card, it will keep the -1 cost and +1 power, but after you play it, repeat this ability. Once it's played, that ability has now moved on to the next top card of the deck, and if you shuffle the deck, you've sort of messed it up if you shuffle after the fact. Those things are absolutely worth knowing for Surge. She is, however, going to be at least interesting. So there's two decks that I think she's going to be good in that I decided not to feature. Everyone on Earth is going to try her in a bounce deck. I'll try her in a bounce deck. I love bounce. But that deck doesn't change. It's just the bounce deck plus Surge. And same thing for Surfer. Surfer is going to be the same thing plus Surge. We're going to instead look at different places to play her. And I think she is going to have two real uses. And people are going to go crazy over this one. They're going to try and chain her to get basically turn her into a free card, getting all your energy back and getting like plus turn 3, turn 4, turn 5, turn 6, plus 4 power offer, turning her into a 2/6 that is then like giving you back 2 energy outside of the 2 you spent on her. Does seem like it's really good. But I think just hitting her once or twice on really key cards, using her as sort of a second Zabu with extra good targets is going to be one of the main places to go, which is going to be our first deck. This is from our friend Cougar, who took the idea from our other friend Tucker, who will be live on the podcast tomorrow night, along with Den to review all the new cards of the season. So this is an Affliction deck, and this deck has fallen out of favor. The High Evolutionary version has proven to be far, far, far more successful right now in the meta than this version. So why go back to it? Well, the reason is fairly simple. Surge hitting any of our 4-drops, just like Zabu, gives us all sorts of extra value here. Every bit of extra energy we get here is insane. Let's say, for example, however, we hit Hazmat, who we don't want to play till the end of the game. Hey, friends, how does a turn 6 play of Ajax and Hazmat sound for you? Like a huge power spike out of nowhere, right? Especially if you have like a Lofty lane, a Diamondback lane elsewhere. That should win a lot of games of Marvel Snap. That kind of thing is crazy, crazy strong, and I do think that Surge will have a natural home in this list because of that. I'm very excited to give this one a go. You can find the creator of this list or the person who did a video. Some of my favorite new card videos are from Tucker. You can find Tucker at youtube.com/@Tucker. New Daddy Tucker. Congrats on the baby. And then we've got Cougar, twitch.tv/Cougar. He should be streaming hopefully today, if not within this week. Finally starting streaming is Cougar. This deck needs Ajax and Antivenom. US Agent or Surge can be Scorpion, Sam Wilson, Iron Patriot, or Cable. Be forewarned, though, if you don't have Surge, you desperately need Zabu in this list, or it does like you need Zabu on 1 or 2, or the list just kind of collapses most of the time. Diamondback can be Cassandra Nova or Gladiator. I really miss Gladiator decks like this for Malekith, but what are you gonna do? Red Guardian can be Rogue. You can also consider Mobius, given that I think negative is going to be all over the place because of the new card Esme. And again, we covered Esme in great detail this morning in this morning's video if you're interested. Lofty or Man-Thing can be a cheaper card from earlier, think Gladiator, so on. You do need one of the two, but you don't need both. Juggernaut is also a really good shot here. Malekith can be Frigga. The logic here being Malekith digs you into your deck, gets you a free card. What Frigga does with Antivenom is ultimately the same. Basically, if you end up playing Antivenom on 4, you can play the free card and Frigga. On turn 5, you can play the free card Frigga and Hazmat in particular on turn 5, and that ends up working out fine. Malekith, we don't believe shuffles the deck. If Malekith does shuffle the deck, it could be a problem. And Malekith does have 2 bad hits now in the list in Zabu and Surge, but hey, look, at least you're getting a 4/8 out of it, and that's pretty good stats. Zabu is here because we're running Lofty, Malekith, Antivenom, Man-Thing. 4/4s means that we really, really desperately need Zabu in this list. Otherwise, it gets too heavy and too clunky. Hazmat is incredible power for 2 cards. It can turn Diamondback into up to a 3/11, while also being incredible for Ajax, giving Ajax the biggest card on the board, energy. Surge is an amazing hit for almost anything here. Even being able to sneak in like a Zabu on turn 3, along with playing Luke or Diamondback, seems really nice here. Hitting Hazmat for that end turn play, or US Agent for an end turn play with like Ajax seems really good. Hitting Luke, obviously very good here. And then the fours are what we're actually like really aiming for. US Agent is a good way to solve bigger cards. If you can't get around some big cards, US Agent does that for you. US Agent makes Malekith a 4/9, assuming you've played Luke, and then the opponent has any extra big cards there, which they almost always will, you will end up with a 4/12 at least in power out of that US Agent play, which is really nice. Luke Cage is how you don't ruin your own life running US Agent and a million fours, running Hazmat and all this stuff. If you didn't want to run US Agent, you could try like Grandmaster there, and Luke is a little less important at that point, but still a very good card. Luke also has very interesting interplay with Laufey, where if you play Laufey first on a bunch of your cards, it will keep that power it gets even after you play Luke, thus you get to double dip that way. Diamondback plays, if the opponent has 4 cards there, is a 3/11, that's great. Red Guardian is an amazing way to stop opposing stuff, in particular we're annoyed at opponent Luke Cage, but a lot of opposing stuff really does need to be messed with. Hitting a Mobius is also a really, really good target with Anti-Venom in the deck and Surge in the deck, Zabu in the deck. Laufey is, generally speaking, just 4 big. So is Man-Thing. They're both amazing against Thanos, both Laufey and Man-Thing, which is very important to the meta right now. Malekith gives you just a decent power spike, and because you want to see so many of your early things but don't always want to play them, Malekith gives you an extra draw to see them. Anti-Venom also gives you an extra way to play things in this very, very heavy, expensive deck. It works almost like a Sera in this that you can play on turn 4. And then Man-Thing, again, we talked about already, and Ajax is the biggest thing if you don't play Luke, and if you play Luke, it's still pretty damn big. All right, turn 1, Zabu. Zabu can be a snap if you hit all the right 4s. Turn 2, Surge is better than Zabu, is better than US Agent. Again, I might play even Zabu over Surge if I've got like all the 4s in the deck. Turn 3 ideally is a 4, that's why you're running Zabu and Surge. If you get a nice early 4, that's likely a snap condition over Diamondback, over Luke. Anti-Venom is better than Malekith, is better than Man-Thing, which is more or less equal to Laufey. You're going to have to pick your poison over what you want to play. Look at the board, figure things out. Turn 5, Ajax over Hazmat and Luke. Turn 5, Hazmat and a 4, or Laufey or Malekith is usually that 4. Beautiful list. Genuinely, tons of power. I think that the classic version, this is the classic version of Ajax, is fairly likely to be back with the advent of Surge, taking a little bit up because Mobius will be fairly prominent, right? And this one has a much more reasonable matchup into Mobius than the High Evolutionary versions, which just die into that matchup, while also just having enough energy to be able to compete with anything else that doesn't run Mobius. Before we get to the next deck, let's hit that sub, like, and comment if you are so inclined. We will be going over next what I think the best deck for Surge is, so make sure you don't miss out. Hit that sub and never miss a video. We do at least 7 days a week Marvel Snap videos as we try to hit 25,000 subs in 2025. We cover Marvel Snap extremely thoroughly, and we'll even have an interview with Matt, the creator of the Snap Pack system, this Friday. We're also giving away multiple Esme Cuckoos. We will announce one more Esme Cuckoo winner later this video. If you would like to enter to win, we're giving away 5 more Esme Cuckoos. Sub, like, comment. Your comment will be a specific thing I ask you later this video, so make sure you just sub and like now, and you can leave that comment soon. All right. Sorry, I know this is probably disappointing for many of you, but this is almost certainly the best Surge deck, right? Surge just fits perfectly into this version of Thanos, where the stones for free is just too good. The stones for free is just too good. We know that for a very long time that they are too good because originally they worked with Quinjet and that was completely insane. I could even see this bringing about a lockjaw resurgence in Thanos because Surge should be that good for that combo. But even without that, we look around, right? Are we happy to hit Sam Wilson? Yes, very, very happy to hit Sam Wilson. Are we happy to hit Strange Supreme? Very happy to hit Strange Supreme. A 2-cost Cosmo? Yeah, I can play a Cosmo and a Stone on 3. Let's do it and transfer that. Red Guardian cheaper, Shang cheaper, Copycat cheaper, Wiccan cheaper. Yeah, Wiccan is Surge is going to be in every Wiccan deck more or less from now on because it basically has a chance to make Wiccan a 3 and help you with the extra energy cheat. Eliath, you don't really care if it's 1 cheaper, but hey, Eliath on turn 5 to mess up a Sera, to mess up an Ajax, into other things on turn 6, into whatever got cheaper on turn 6. An extra turning Mockingbird into a 10 power card that's 1 cheaper that you can play early. You can, odds are, play that on turn 3, 4, 5. Yeah, That seems really good. And again, making Thanos potentially too cheaper. Oh wait, it'll never hit Thanos. Thanos is in your hand. So Shadow King and Shang-Chi are the only things you don't super want to hit, but even then you're not super sad because your end of the game gets so much more effective when those power cards are cheaper. This is an alteration of the Dara version, Twitch.tv says DaraJN, which is an alteration of the Crazy version, Twitch.tv says Crazy I am. Thanos, Wiccan, and Strange are your required cards. Sam and Surge can be Iron Patriot, Cable, Mirage. Red Guardian can be Rogue. Copycat can be Mobius or Juggernaut. I think right now Copycat might want to be Mobius. I expect a lot of negative. I can't say that enough. Alioth can be Enchantress, and Mockingbird can be Sasquatch. Yeah. Um, Sam Wilson is here. It gives you an immediate thing to eat for Strange Supreme while also just playing as a 2/7. That's pretty good stats. Shadow King says, oh, look, you're playing Surfer. You think you're going to go big. Oh, look, you're playing XYZ that you think you're going to be going big. Oh, you're playing Surge and you put a bunch of buffs in this lane. No, you didn't. Strange Supreme is the biggest thing. It is a nice cheap lane winner that makes sure you don't clog yourself. Surge should be energy cheat, especially good on stones, but doesn't really have other bad targets here. Cosmo is your Strange Supreme protection. Don't play it on Surge, please. It will shut off your Surge at that point, but outside of that, seems really good. Red Guardian is an answer card, turning off opposing nonsense, including opposing Surge, which seems important. Copycat, if everyone's playing similar stuff, it seems like an incredibly powerful card while giving you information. Again, might want to be Mobius. Shang-Chi, power must be controlled. Wiccan, extra energy, lets you do anything you want, hence the Surge and Wiccan. I would bet you they even have similar animations. I don't know yet, but it seems likely. Alioth is basically turning off opposing last turn nonsense. They want to play a Victoria hand, for example, and you're just like, no, I don't really want you to do that. That kind of thing is incredibly strong. Mockingbird is a super cheap 9. Super cheap 9 is good, and Thanos is big and gives you draw. So the best deck just gets better with this week. We're at that point in the game again where Thanos is good enough that almost every card they release that can fit in Thanos, that is like the cards are better if they go well in Thanos, right? Like good cards just go in Thanos. Turn 1, you want draw rocks. Turn 2, Strange over Surge over draw over Sam. Turn 3, Cosmo and Strange over 2+1, Mockingbird as she fits. So I would generally like to go Strange into a lovely Surge and 1 or Cosmo and Strange. Turn 4, we want to go Wiccan over earlier plays. If Wiccan works, you're good. Turn 5, Thanos or Red Guardian / Shang-Chi. Turn 6, Alioth or Shang Plus. Chef's Kiss, this is a monster. I don't want to play this. I'm going to play this on stream tonight, but I don't want to. I know this is good. So if you want to come see me sort of rock with a very good deck, I'll see you there. Hey, check out twitch.tv/PulseGlazer if you are so inclined tonight at around 8:30 p.m. Eastern. I will be live 8 to 8:30 in that general area. I will be live playing all the new decks from these cards, all of the decks in this and this morning's video, and anything I can get from a bunch of top players in the meantime. Our season pass question is very simple. What do you expect of Surge? We also have our Esme Cuckoo winner, which is wildly Bricks2Click. Congratulations, Bricks2Click, for winning Esme Cuckoo. Check out a stream at tonight. I think we'll give away a season pass tonight on stream. Why not? So stop by and get a season pass. Next up, we got Surge Sera. Sorry, I'll be live on YouTube and Twitch, but the giveaway is on Twitch because I'm trying to grow that Twitch. YouTube's pretty big now, right? All right, Surge Sera. So this is saying fundamentally, I've got some bad hits for Surge, right? I don't want to hit Red Guardian. I don't want to hit Red Guardian, Shang, and Enchantress. I want to play those at the end of the game. I don't want to hit Killmonger. I want to play that at the end of the game. So why the hell am I running Surge? Well, almost anything else I hit seems amazing. I will play Captain Carter on turn 3 if it gives me that chain energy, right? I will happily play Galacta or Gwenpool on 3. That seems game-winningly strong. And obviously, if I get Sera on 4, I feel like the game is also fairly likely to be over. Again, if Mobius is everywhere, this won't work. And Surge isn't like an every down card here, right? There's games you're going to play it, you're like, yeah, whatever. But Marvel Snap is a game where you can run for 1 if things don't come together. But Surge, if it works right, even without Sera, can basically be a Sera discount for most of the rest of the game. While also, if it gives you that Sera, if it gives you that early Galacta, that early Gwenpool, is a winning card, is a power win card. I made this, twitch.tv/PulseGlazer. This deck needs Galacta. Gwenpool can be Ms. or Captain Marvel. I actually think Ms. might be better here than this card, although I might need to mess around with my cost curve a little bit. Red Guardian can be Rogue or Mobius without too much trouble. Carter can be Gladiator or whatever the best stat 3 you have is. And Sam can be Cable or Mirage. All right, so Zabu is here. I'm running 4/4s, so I run Zabu. That's it. That's how this works. We talked about Sam. The argument for Sam isn't any different here. It's very powerful. Works great with Captain Carter. Surge, in this instance, again, is not going to hit every card. We talked about this, but You're happy to play a Carter or Sam on turn 3 that it hits, or a Zabu on turn 3 that it hits, right? You're happy to play Galacta or Gwenpool on turn 3, and now you've continued the chain. And then you're happy to hit Sera. And even if you don't play that another card after Sera, having access to a 2-cost Enchantress, or even a 1-cost Enchantress from Zabu, Surge, Sera, seems crazy strong, right? That kind of combination is what we're really looking for in playing this list, in playing Surge in this list. Carter has multiple ways to get big. I'll play it on 3 after a Surge. If not, I'm going to probably try and hold it and go with an earlier play, because what I'm really, really, really want to do is get Galacta or Gwenpool and hit Carter and then have this lane winning power at the end of the game. If I was able to Surge that card, obviously it'll be in play. But even if it's a 2-4, right? And suddenly a 2-4 Carter with a bunch of stuff to play behind it seems game winningly big. Juggernaut is how you win lanes on the cheap, and it's just very, very strong. Killmonger is our next card here. Killmonger is amazing at just wrecking Thanos and all around winning games of Marvel Snap. Red Guardian, key target answers. Shang-Chi, power must be controlled. Enchantress, ongoings must be controlled. I can see either Enchantress or Gwenpool going for Ms. Marvel. Gonna say that again. Gwenpool is keyword get your stuff big. Getting stuff big is a good way to win, as is Galacta. And then Sera lets you play all the stuff that should win you the game. So turn 1 Zabu, turn 2 Surge over Zabu over Sam. Turn 3 is a turn 2 play better than Carter unless you Surge it. Turn 4 Sera over Galacta over Gwenpool. Turn 5 Sera, and then turn 6 go off. Play everything you can that wins you the game, and you should be good to go. You should be able to go like Killmonger and Shang-Chi if you played Sera right. Like now all of a sudden you've got a 2-cost Killmonger, a 3 or 2-cost Shang-Chi, and you've still got enough energy for a Sam Wilson or whatever the hell else you want. I think that this list is going to be great, but next up, we got to just quickly, Esme Cuckoo is in the next deck, so we got to quickly just say 3-4, copy a card from your deck into your hand, set its cost to 3 and its power to 4, and a season pass card, and I think it's wildly good. Check out this morning's video if you want a fuller breakdown of it. Please check out this morning's video anyway. It would really help us out. All right, next up we have Cougar Wolf. This is from our friend Cougar, who should be streaming again at some point either tonight or later this week. I'm very excited for it. A good friend who is an amazing Marvel Snap player. He built the high evolutionary version of Ajax that's all over the place, for example. He's been in a lot of meta decks, but the deck we found out about him from was he had a werewolf deck that ran stuff like this, right? And this deck is absolutely incredible and very, very consistent. So how do we make it better? We don't need werewolf, right? Like if we have other power cards. What if we run Esme Cuckoo as that extra power card? Esme does not have 10 million good targets, right? But it's got enough good targets, as does Surge, for this deck to really chain off and put out a ton of power. You can find Cougar at twitch.tv/Cougar, 2 O's, 3 R's. This deck needs Gore, Antivenom, Moonstone, Ravonna, and Kate Bishop. Those are your required cards. Surge can be Zabu, and Sage can be Wolfsbane. All right, so Ravonna here, right? Anything you hit with Surge will still be discounted by Ravonna, which seems honest to God like cheating. But you can also Moonstone Ravonna and get a 2-cost discount on Mystique, Sage, Iron Man, and Gore. That means Mystique and Sage cost 1, Iron Man costs 3, Gore costs 4. That seems like it's pretty good. Yeah, I thought so. Shadow King is sort of anti-synergy with Surge, but it isn't on reveal, which will buff Gore. Well, it's also just really good into a lot of the meta right now. Turning off, for example, a unprotected Doctor Strange is game winning. Surge is here as extra cheap energy. Getting Moonstone or Anti-Venom out early is incredible. Getting Iron Man or Gore out early is incredible. Getting any of these cards power is, again, very, very good. And you're perfectly happy to chain all of this. Hawkeye gives you fairly likely extra on reveals. 3 extra on reveals for Gore, which is nice, while also giving you extra cards to play that might have power for Iron Man and so on. Mystique is here to copy Iron Man or Gore. Basically, you get double Gore or double Iron Man with Mystique and Moonstone, and then, you should win. Sage is your extra power card. Magic gives you enough turns to do everything. And then let's take a moment to talk Esme. Esme doesn't really want to hit any of the cheap stuff, although you're fine hitting Ravonna if you've got Magic and Moonstone, because then you've got that super cheap, powerful last turn, right? But, you're not really trying to Shadow King or Surge or Kate. You'll find hitting Mystique. A 3-4 Mystique copying Iron Man or Gore seems utterly amazing. A 3-4 Sage seems amazing. Sometimes you're just going to need Magic, and it gives you a chance to see that. I would take a 3-4 Moonstone. Again, time to see that, or Antivenom. I'd rather have the real Moonstone or Antivenom on turn 4, but if you didn't draw them, an extra chance at them is fine. But the real power here is hitting Iron Man or Gore. A 3-4 Iron Man or Gore is basically better Mystique, which seems wildly strong. So, Turn 1 pass. Turn 2 Surge equals Ravonna is better than Kate. Turn 3 Esme is better than 2. It's better than Magic. Turn 4 Moonstone. If you can get Moonstone on Ravonna or Moonstone with Mystique, it's a snap. And over Antivenom over Iron Man. Turn 5 is your last chance at Magic over Iron Man over Gore. And then turn 6, Mystique and Iron Man or Gore, or whatever combination with Sage you would like. You do that to end the game. You put out a ton of power. If there's not Mobius anywhere, this feels like one of the best decks in Marvel Snap, period. I don't know what else to say. I think that Surge seems very good. I don't think it seems nearly as good as Esme, but again, check this morning's video for more on Esme. Next up, if you'd like to see some gameplay from these decks, please check out the stream team. I doubt Prashant will still be on at reset, but if he is, go check him out. If not, come check me out tonight. Question of the day is simply, what do I expect of Surge? I expect Surge to be good, but not great. I think it's a card that will naturally find homes, that will consistently be fun and good. I think a lot of its people are going to be disappointed in it immediately, partially because I expect a decent amount of Mobius because of all the negative, but partially also because I think people are going to be expecting to be able to just chain it off every turn, and I think that's rarer than people expect. If that does work, if the chain it off every turn does work, it's a broken card, one of the best cards in the game. But I fully expect that to not be the case. I think this is a card you're going to be happy if you hit with it twice. And if hitting with it twice does work, this is going to be a very good card. If hitting with it twice ends up being not really worth it, this is going to be a bad card, and we will end up regretting it. Cool. You don't have to buy it right now, though. You don't get any benefit from buying Surge day one, except early access to playing it. Wait till at least weekend missions until you have a better idea. I will be reviewing this card every day between then and weekend missions in order to give you the best advice on it. Patreon.com/NotJudgments is one of the best ways to support the channel if you're willing to. Even just going to join for free gets you occasional exclusive videos and posts, but our $2 tier comes with both tournament access and a nice thank you for under 3 cents a video. Our $5 tier gets you early access to all these videos, which means you'll have had access to this video since the night before. And then the $10 tier comes with on-air thanks and special exclusive weekly videos. Thank you to Bricks to Click, and that's why it's ridiculous that he won, but thank you to Bricks to Click, our patron of the month. Thank you to the great Abigail Giesland, AG, Mandatory Burnout, how you doing, Burnout? It regardless, yeah. LAB, always kind, Ink, the Graphite Fan, I am Frostman, who short is Frostman, Hota Neverete, Thinking Poker of that very same podcast, Prime Ryan of the Prime Mind app, Ryan Burke, Berkey, that's where I grew up, Burke Avenue, Ryan Wood, Woody, check out Ryan Wood Snap, in order to support Ryan Wood's great YouTube content. Corey coming all the way from Japan. Kazushi, who is much kinder than Corey. Archangel 3K, which is 4K, that ties the room together. Black Dahlia, Perofros, The Goatsy, Code, our Alliance leaders, Code, my Colonel Alliance leader. Hallowed, Only, Box, Synth, Fat Nick, Absolute Shannon, Nightmare. Lightning Strikes, Dirty, Casual, Filthy Even, Mr. Kerfuffle, my regular opponent, The World Traveling Cables, Ginger Prime, Miss You Ginge, hopefully you're doing well, Philly, it's Ratco, makes all the wonderful shorts on the channel, it's Haplo Ning, Kenny Loggins of the Danger Zone, The Beza, Black Jeebus 23, those two are quite notorious, especially as a pair, Exorcy and Skippy G, Rhyming Friends, Jessica Gamble, what's up Jess, Mr. Slush Death, If You Nasty, The Kinger Bros, Bro, The Great Gazoo, Werewolf, oh, Kev, Yoda, what's up Kev, Ludacris, Clam, Colonel Forbin, hey Forbin, Rob Silverman, one of our old patrons, M. Holland, I think the M is Matt, there's a lot of Matts around here, David G. Wingfield, Moo, Steven, not that Steven, but this Steven, Brian Kaufman, Mr. Brian Kaufman, how you doing, Brian? Tristan, Martin, what's the H stand for? Tell me, I know you told me, but I don't remember, so tell me again. Jason B. What's the B stand for? Tell me, I know you told me, but tell me again. Mr. Craig Sterry, the one and only, special guest, Matt V. And then, of course, new star Corey, our newest patron. Corwin, John Q, and Jimmy Q, Cute Town. Yes, Stout even. Eighth Sage, One Big Man, Milkman for Reals, Cactus, my favorite Foley, Reapser, BG, Quid Pro Joe. Check out Quid Pro Joe, killing it with questions and the variants right now. We talked yesterday. Snap Decisions Joe, check out the Snap Decisions podcast all the time. I got to come back on, Joe. We need to schedule something. Dick Carlo, check him out on Twitch, please. Models Mod Supreme. Bickety Boom Bot. Green Goblin, my favorite Osborne. Unibot, Flan 56, the Flan Man. The Fuzzy Delma. Spectrumix, who Ocularis. Mr. Matt H, the only one we'll ever need. DJ Mike Hutchings, don't forget Flex. Nick the Greek Geek. who saw Thunderbolts last night, Toxic Soul King, who is wonderful and probably streaming right now. Go check him out. Zodrex, the King of Canada. Check out Zodrex and the King of Canada, both on Twitch, along with Toxic Soul King and Nick the Geek. All those are streamers you should go check out. Deadman Falcon is on YouTube and deserves your love. Thor Newman is on both Twitch and YouTube and should get some extra support because his name is the best pun in the game. Jonesy, check out the Triple Threat on YouTube. It's hilarious and severely underrated. Our friend Two Ties who wears two ties. The great Lauren Medev, snap on this podcast. The Pirate King Tucker, Twitch and YouTube. And of course, Gunny T, where that stands for that whole list of people before are on Twitch or YouTube and deserve your support. Go check them out and continue to come back here every single day for multiple Marvel Snap videos all the time. Much love, everybody. I'll see you for some more Snap Take. Peace.